Hey everyone, Eli back again, and today we're going to be talking about how you can benchmark speech-to-text, specifically with Speechmatics, using our word error rate toolkit. So benchmarking is really important when it comes to measuring the accuracy of speech-to-text or ASR models, and there are a lot of things that you might want to be measuring when it comes to measuring accuracy, but one of them is word error rate, also known as WER, which is just the acronym of word error rate. So Speechmatics is a really helpful tool that allows you to do this really easily once you have a transcript as well as the reference transcript that you're going to be comparing it to. We have this toolkit here, and I'm actually just going to jump over to the Python module so you can get a better look at it, where essentially you just install this Python module and you can start running and comparing the Speechmatics generated transcripts, ASR generated transcripts against an actual reference one, a perfect transcript, right? And one of the nice things that it does is it does a lot of the normalization work that can be tricky, right? Capitalization, punctuation. You don't necessarily want to mark those as errors. They can be important for sure, but those are things that can be cleaned up quite simply in post with other functionalities. You want to be understanding what the word accuracy is, right? Are we getting the words correct with the ASR transcription versus the actual reference architecture? And then we will run a bit of an equation here to understand if there are insertions, deletions, or substitutions, how many there are, and then create a score to show how accurate the ASR is compared to your general transcript. So we have the instructions here on how you can install this specific library for the word error rate toolkit, and then go ahead and use it. And the example today that we're going to go through is one that you might be familiar with if you've seen my other videos.
Have you won wigs?
No, I have not.
So hopefully a humorous example here that we can jump into. And so to start, what I'll do is I'll generate a transcript based off of that exact audio clip. So I can submit this job. We get a job submitted. Go over to the webhook where I have it created, and you'll see that I have the text here for that transcript, right? And then what I can do is I can compare this to the reference transcript that I have. So this is the reference, the perfect transcript, if you will, that we would expect to see from the ASR model. So to run the word error rate toolkit, you need this reference file that I'm showing here that has the perfect transcript, and then you need the Speechmatics generated one, which we just created. So I'll copy and paste that in. And then if I run the command for SM metrics, WER, and the difference between the reference file and the Speechmatics one, it's going to actually generate a score for me. And in this case, what do you know? We're perfect. It's not always going to be the case. So what we can do to play around with it a little more, let me clear this off, is go into the reference file and maybe change a couple things. Let's say instead of Vogue magazine, this is Vogue newspaper. Maybe instead of wigs, this is hats. Maybe we have a couple deletions here, and maybe we are adding in some extra, we wear big wigs, extra words as well. So we've made a couple changes now to the reference text. So if I try and run this again, I would expect to see some different scores here, right? And so now we'll notice that there's insertions, deletions, and substitutions. So the newspaper change I made has been noted. Hats to wigs has been noted. I added in a word here, right? That's essentially a hallucination. I changed this word or got rid of it, so or rather added that one in, deleted it. So we have now an actual word error rate score showing that I'm 0.08% WER score, so 92% correct more or less, but you can see how quickly the scores can change when things aren't exactly perfect, and as much as we love to be perfect, it's not always going to be the case. So word error rate toolkit is really, really useful as you start testing and benchmarking your actual audio in the real world. So thanks for stopping by again. Definitely test your data sets with the WER toolkit. Really, really useful tool to actually benchmarking how well an ASR is performing from a WER perspective. And don't forget, WER is not the only thing that you should be concerned with necessarily when it comes to benchmarking speech-to-text models. There are a lot of other things as well that can impact the quality of the transcription, from diarization to keyword recognition and much, much more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's a good place to get started.